Hello, my name is Canough, and this is a short presentation on how to read your utility bill when you have a solar electric system. In New York, we are allowed to do net metering. If your solar electric system is interconnected with the grid, you are doing net metering. Net metering systems feed your electrical load in synchrony with utility power. There are no batteries needed. If there is more solar electricity, for example at midday, than the building needs, the utility meter turns backward and you get a credit at the retail rate. When the sun is not out, you use the credit. You can choose a solar electric system size that supplements the utility power or serves your entire electrical usage. It will be off if the utility power is down in order to protect the people who may be working on the lines to restore grid power. Retail credit is given month to month. If you generate more than you use over the entire year, you get a credit to the following year at the utility's wholesale rate. At present, in NYSEG territory, new systems may roll over credits indefinitely. There's no true update. Net metering is important for us in the Northeast. That's because we have a long, cloudy winter. If we size the solar electric system to serve your whole load, this means that you will be accumulating credits in the summer and fall to use in the winter. So the fact that some days are cloudy and the system production is low on those days has already been accounted for in our system sizing. To see if your system is covering all of your electricity needs, we need a year's worth of production data and utility bills. If you still have to pay the utility, then there are several possibilities why that might be. Your use went up because you purchased something that increased use, such as just one little electric heater, an air source heat pump to heat and cool your house, an electric vehicle, a hot tub, and so on. This has been the story at my house, and so I had to add more solar panels. The amount of sun does vary from year to year, as much as 20%. In the Northeast, climate change is clearly increasing the number of rainy days. We may have to size systems differently in the future because of this. We are keeping an eye on this problem. If we have a very snowy winter, that does reduce production, but not a lot. Why? Well, there is no sun during the snowy winter months. For example, the entire month of December accounts for only 5% of the yearly sun. The next thing that could happen is the utility read their own meter incorrectly, or they installed the wrong meter, or they failed to enter the meter readings correctly. This has only happened a few times, but it pays to look at your bill. If you think they messed up, we can come and take a look at the meter. Finally, a wire in the system could have come loose, or an animal maybe chewed a wire, reducing the system output. Call us to have that repaired ASAP. Your solar electric system is made of solar panels, inverters, and a rack to hold the panels. Most of our residential systems have microinverters, which are mounted right behind the solar panel. Each panel has its own microinverter, and each inverter works independently of the others. This means if one panel is shaded some times of the day, the rest of the system is unaffected. The solar panel produces direct current, or DC, electricity at 40 volts, but your home appliances and lights use alternating current, AC, at 240 volts. The inverter converts the low voltage DC to AC at 240, and it does it with an efficiency of about 98%. The inverter is also a very smart box. It knows how to synchronize with the utility sine wave, how to push electricity to the load or to the grid if there's not a load, and it knows when there's something wrong with the grid and shuts itself off. The inverter outputs go to a breaker in your main circuit box, or for larger systems, to a special connector between the circuit box and the utility meter. Now let's take a look at a typical bill. There should be a line for electricity that's imported and electricity exported. Sometimes these are labeled use and gen. Both of these words are rather misleading when you have solar. There should also be a box called remaining excess generation. Those are kilowatt-hour credits for future use. In NYSEG's language, use means electricity imported from the grid, and gen means electricity your solar electric system exported to the grid. There is no number on the NYSEG bill to tell you how much solar electricity you generated overall, because much of it will have gone directly from the inverters to the house loads. That means it never went through the NYSEG meter. If gen minus use is a positive number, you get a credit to use later, like in November when there's no sun. The solar electricity kilowatt hours can only offset utility kilowatt hours. You will always have to pay the basic service charge to stay attached to the grid. This is way, way cheaper than being off-grid, which involves batteries. On this bill from late fall, I imported more electricity from NYSEG than I sold. Perhaps I turned on the heating system, but I had credits saved up to use to pay this bill, so I did not have to send NYSEG anything other than the $15 service fee. Sweet! Now, speaking of winter, if you are worried about power outage due to storms, a pure grid tie solar electric system will not do anything when the utility power is down. So what you might want to consider is to have us install a Tesla Powerwall. This is a battery which will keep your critical loads going for 12 to 24 hours. I mentioned that the NYSEG bill cannot tell you about your total solar generation. It also cannot tell you your total electricity consumption. That's why we install either a data logger or a production meter, and usually you will have both. The production meter is one of those old-fashioned electromechanical meters with mechanical digits. The number shown is the total solar production in kilowatt hours since the system was turned on. Read your production meter each month. The difference from one month to the next is your production for the month. Then you can figure out your monthly consumption by adding solar kilowatt hours produced for that month plus kilowatt hours purchased from the utility minus kilowatt hours exported to the utility. And that'll be your consumption. If you have a data logger, you can generate reports from the inverter company's data site. Some customers have only a solar production data logger. In more recent times, more people are getting a consumption monitoring data logger also. If you have none of these but want one, you could have us install a Sense data logger. A handy person could even install that themselves. Questions? Want to look into going solar? Give us a call at 607-785-6499. Alex will put you in touch with one of our solar sales techs. ETM SolarWorks, bringing solar power to the people for 31 years.